What the hell did you say? What are you looking at?
The agony of defeat.
If she was 29, she'd sound just like me.
Oh, nothing. See, there was this fight in the school cafeteria. I told you not to get in trouble. Are you okay?
I tell you, they get their heroes in such trouble you'd swear they could never get them out of it. But somehow...
Okay, if you're here, chances are you are a pop culture enthusiast, so you probably, maybe definitely already know a little about the legendary TV show, The Jeffersons. And for those that don't, I'm looking at you Gen Zs. The Jeffersons is a classic American sitcom that ran from January 18, 1975 to July 2, 1985. It's one of the longest-running sitcoms ever, with 253 episodes over 11 seasons. Norman Lear created the show as a spin-off from All in the Family, where the Jeffersons were neighbors to Archie and Edith Bunker. The series is about George and Louise Jefferson, a successful black couple who move into a fancy Manhattan apartment thanks to George's booming dry cleaning business. The show was ahead of its time, being one of the first to show a wealthy black family. It tackled issues like racism, classism, and interracial marriage, all while keeping it funny. I told you, legendary! Today we're taking an awesome trip down memory lane to see how the cast of The Jeffersons has changed over the years, comparing their days on the show to now. Isabelle Sanford as Louise Jefferson.
In a minute.
You better hurry up. My motor's running.
Louise is the rock of the family, always keeping things cool when life gets crazy. Isabel Sanford totally nailed it as Louise, making her a character who could handle any storm with a smile. Isabel had a rich background in theater before hitting it big on TV. She was a pro on Broadway before making a splash in Hollywood with roles on Bewitched, The Mod Squad, and more. She even shone on the big screen in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. In 1981, Sanford made history as the first African-American actress to snag a Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actress in a comedy series for her role on The Jeffersons. Apparently, her peers loved her take on Louise Jefferson and figured she added humor, depth, and a realness to the show, helping cement its place in American pop culture. Sadly, Isabel passed away in 2004 at 86 years old. Before she passed away, she had health problems from surgery on her neck artery 10 months earlier. Fans and colleagues alike mourned Sanford's death, remembering her for her groundbreaking role and her contributions to television history. Sherman Hemsley as George Jefferson.
What the hell did you say?
George Jefferson is like the fiery, quick-witted counterpart to Archie Bunker, always ready with a sharp comeback. Sherman Hemsley, who played him, had quite the journey. He dropped out of high school, joined the Air Force, worked at the post office by day, and acted in plays at night. Eventually, he made it to Broadway, where he caught the eye of Norman Lear and landed the iconic role of George Jefferson. The role got him a Golden Globe and an Emmy nomination, plus he scored an NAACP Image Award for Best Performance by an actor in a comedy series or special for The Jeffersons in 1982. After The Jeffersons, Hemsley kept busy on TV, playing Deacon Ernest Fry on the NBC series Amen from 1986 to 1991. He popped up in other shows too and stayed active in the entertainment world until he passed away. Sherman also tried his hand at music and kept acting, with his last appearance in 2011. Sadly, he passed away in 2012 at 74 due to a complication of lung cancer called superior vena cava syndrome. His role as George Jefferson is a big part of TV history, known for bringing laughter and tackling social issues through his character. Roxie Roker as Helen Willis.
If she was 29, she'd sound just like me.
Helen is the queen of comebacks, always ready to shut down George's insults with her sharp wit. Roxy Roker, already a seasoned Broadway actress, transitioned to TV with roles in popular shows like Bewitched and The Mary Tyler Moore Show. Roker was on The Jeffersons from start to finish, 1975 to 1985, and everyone loved her for her humor and depth. Like I said before the show, she rocked the stage, winning an Obie Award in 1974 and getting a Tony nomination for playing Mattie Williams in The River Niger. Roxy was also the mother of musician Lenny Kravitz. Her character and her on-screen hubby, Tom Willis, played by Franklin Cover, were a big deal for showing an interracial marriage in a positive light. This was a major step forward for diverse relationships on TV in the 70s and 80s. Sadly, Roxy passed away in 1995 at 66 years old. Franklin Cover as Tom Willis.
Tell you, they get their heroes in such trouble you'd swear they could never get them out of it. But somehow...
Franklin Cover played Tom Willis on The Jeffersons. His character was part of one of the first interracial marriages on prime-time TV, with his on-screen wife Helen Willis, played by Roxie Roker. They lived in the same fancy apartment building as George and Louise Jefferson. Tom often served as the funny contrast to George, played by Sherman Hemsley. Cover's role on The Jeffersons made him a familiar face to TV audiences all over the U.S. After the show ended, he kept acting, popping up in various TV shows and movies like Wall Street, 1987. His last TV appearance was on an episode of Will and Grace that aired on May 13, 1999. Sadly, Franklin Cover passed away on February 5, 2006, at 77 years old. He had been staying at the Lillian Booth Actors Home in Englewood, New Jersey since December 2005 while recovering from a heart condition, and he died of pneumonia. Marla Gibbs as Florence Johnston.
What are you looking at?
The agony of defeat.
Marla Gibbs is like the queen of sass for her role as Florence Johnston, the bold and fiery housekeeper in the classic sitcom The Jeffersons. Playing Florence wasn't just about making people laugh. She showed us a strong black woman who wasn't afraid to speak her mind, especially to her boss, George Jefferson. Gibbs got nominated for the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a comedy series 5 times for her role as Florence. She even starred in the spin-off show Checking In 1981, and later rocked the lead role in the NBC sitcom 2.27 from 1985 to 1990. Marla Gibbs has bagged 7 NAACP Image Awards throughout her epic career. Just to clear things up, Marla Gibbs is still alive, 92 years old and kicking, folks. Any rumors about her passing are totally false. She's still a beloved icon for her unforgettable roles and her ongoing hustle in showbiz. Paul Benedict as Harry Bentley.
Do you know what that song is called, Mr. J?
Yeah, awful.
Paul Benedict was that quirky and lovable English dude, Harry Bentley, on The Jeffersons. He rocked that role from the get-go in 1975 until 1981, took a break, then came back in 1983, and stayed till the show wrapped up in 1985. Bentley was this UN translator who was always polite but had a knack for rambling on about his relatives back in England, which could get pretty boring. But you know what? Despite George Jefferson getting annoyed with him at first, Bentley ended up becoming tight with the Jefferson crew as the show went on. Sadly, Paul Benedict passed away on December 1, 2008, at 70 years old. He was found dead at his crib in Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts, from a brain hemorrhage. It was a tough loss for the acting world, but his legacy lives on, especially through his awesome work as Harry Bentley on The Jeffersons. Berlinda Tolbert as Jenny Willis.
You must really love him. Because your daddy's out there too, and you haven't mentioned him at all.
Berlinda Tolbert was the bomb as Jenny Willis Jefferson on that CBS sitcom, The Jeffersons. Jenny was the daughter of Tom and Helen Willis, this rad interracial couple, and she ended up getting hitched to Lionel Jefferson, George and Louise's son, back when they were on All in the Family. They tied the knot and even had a kid, making the Willis and Jefferson squads even tighter. After the show wrapped, Tolbert kept crushing it in both movies and TV. She popped up in flicks like Harlem Nights, Goodfellas, and Patriot Games, and did her thing on shows like ER, 6 Feet Under, and CSI Crime Scene Investigation. She even starred in an indie film called Last Ride on the Midwest Pacific in 2011, earning props for her dope contributions to the arts. As far as we know, Berlinda Tolbert is still kicking it. Any talk of her passing is straight up wrong. She's one of the last OGs from the Jeffersons crew still holding it down, along with Marla Gibbs, J. Hammer, and Damon Evans. Zara Cully as Mother Jefferson.
I know, but I was just on my way home from the Golden Years Senior Citizens Club.
Zara Cully was the OG Mother Jefferson on that CBS sitcom, The Jeffersons, right from the jump in 1975 until she passed in 1978. She played George Jefferson's mom, known for her savage roasts and quick comebacks, especially aimed at her son's wife, Louise, played by Isabel Sanford. Cully's portrayal of Mother Jefferson was iconic, bringing that strong mom energy and tons of laughs to the show. Before she was killing it on The Jeffersons, Zara Cully had been in the acting game for over 50 years, making her a total legend. She was hailed as one of the best speakers ever after a gig in New York City in 1940. Plus, she taught drama and was a regular performer at the Ebony Showcase Theater in Hollywood. Sadly, Zara Cully passed away on February 28, 1978, at 86 due to lung cancer. It was a major loss for the entertainment world, but her legacy lives on through her unforgettable performances and groundbreaking roles. Ned Wertimer as Ralph Hart.
Oh, that turns every day into Christmas.
Well, ho, ho, ho.
Ned Wertimer is the dude we all remember as Ralph Hart, the doorman. He showed up in 57 out of the 253 episodes of the series. Ralph made his debut during an episode of All in the Family in 1975, which set the stage for The Jeffersons spin-off. Ralph was all about that tip life, always slyly putting his hand out for a little something-something from the folks living in the swanky Colby East building in Manhattan. He was like the OG hustler, working hard but always looking to make some extra cash. Sadly, Ned Wertimer passed away on January 2, 2013, at 89. He died from complications after taking a fall at his home in Burbank a month earlier. It was a sad day for the acting world, but his legacy as Ralph Hart lives on, keeping the laughs alive for anyone tuning in to The Jeffersons. Damon Evans as Lionel Jefferson.
Oh, nothing. See, there was this fight in the school cafeteria. I told you not to get in trouble.
Damon Evans was the dude who played Lionel Jefferson. He took over the role from Mike Evans, who first rocked it on All in the Family, before coming back to The Jeffersons after Damon bounced. As Lionel, Damon brought this fresh vibe as a young, opinionated bro. He was all about breaking stereotypes, dealing with Archie Bunker's nonsense on All in the Family, and navigating interracial marriage drama. Damon's Lionel appeared in 72 episodes, adding some realness to the show's portrayal of African-American life back in the day. Damon Evans is still kicking it. He's about 74 years young. Damon's legacy lives on, keeping Lionel alive in our TV memories. J. Hammer as Helen Willis.
You only half white, so that makes you half all right.
J. Hammer was the dude who played Helen Willis from 78-79. Alan's the son of Tom and Helen Willis, that mixed-race couple played by Franklin Cover and Roxie Roker. Oh, and he's Jenny Willis Jefferson's older bro. Alan was known for firing back at George's insults with some serious sass and having a real depth to his character. He came back from New Mexico while his folks were dealing with stuff in Syracuse, New York, after Tom's dad passed away. Their relationship got kinda rocky, 'cause Alan was all chill and inherited the Fortune warehouse. But then, after just one season, J. Hammer got the boot from the show for reasons we don't really know. But hey, he's still alive and kicking. You might also know him from his gig as Fletcher Reed on CBS Daytime's Guiding Light from 84 to 98. Danny Wells as Charlie.
I could use some real good business advice, and who better than
Danny Wells as Charlie Danny Wells, originally named Jack Westelman. He was Charlie throughout the whole run of the show, from 75 till it wrapped up in 85. Charlie owned this spot called Charlie's Bar, right downstairs at the Colby East apartment complex where the Jeffersons and Willises lived. Charlie was like this friendly neighborhood bartender, always hanging out with the main crew and keeping the vibe chill at his bar. Danny Wells passed away on November 28, 2013 at 72 because of cancer. They laid him to rest at Mount Sinai Memorial Park Cemetery in L.A. Fans and his colleagues were really bummed out by his passing. He left behind this awesome legacy, especially with his role as Charlie the bartender on The Jeffersons. Well, there you have it, folks. A trip down memory lane with the iconic cast of The Jeffersons. From the feisty Louise Jefferson to the lovable doorman Ralph Hart, these characters and the actors who brought them to life left a permanent mark on television history. While some have sadly passed away, their legacies live on through the laughter and lessons they shared with audiences. So, whether you're binge-watching reruns of The Jeffersons or discovering it for the first time, let's raise a toast to the timeless humor, the groundbreaking storytelling, and the unforgettable characters that continue to entertain us. Cheers to The Jeffersons and the amazing cast who made it all possible.